I was listening to the ayahs by the Imam, and he was reading from Surah Al-Mujadala. And he came to the ayah that says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. And I was told when I was a young man, whenever you hear a call, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, pay attention because there is important news coming. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, إذا ناجيتم الرسول فقدموا بين يدي نجواكم صدقات. This ayah was revealed in Medina. And it struck me at that time. So when I went home, I spent maybe the first day half an hour and went back to it another day and another day, and reading the translations that come with it. It's an ayah that was revealed for the mu'mins, the Sahaba, who used to enjoy sitting next to the Prophet for whatever reason and asking him private questions. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu idha najaytum ar-rasul faqaddimu bayna yaday najwakum sadaqat. When that ayah came in, the majority, if not all, stopped coming and having private conversations with the Prophet ﷺ. Imam Ali says that he is the only one who did what that ayah asked for. And then after that, the ayah was rescinded or nusikhat. Some of the stories say that he had 1 dinar and he broke it into 10 dirhams, and every time he comes into the Prophet he will put a dirham, and some riwayas will say that he put a dinar. Some of the translations said that that ayah came to relieve the Prophet from the crowd around him. But I thought, if Allah wanted to tell the people, give room for the Prophet, He would say it straightforward. And there is another ayah in Surah Al-Ahzab where the Prophet, Allah tells the Mu'mins that when you are invited to the Prophet's home, if you're called for, go in. إِذَا طُعِمْتُمْ فَانْتَشِرُوا. Don't stay and don't exhaust the Prophet by prolonging your stay with him. And Allah says it very clearly, إِنَّ ذَلِكَ كَانَ يُؤْذِي الرَّسُولَ فَيَسْتَحْيِي مِنْكُمْ. That used to hurt the Prophet, and he will be embarrassed to tell you to leave because I need some time. So I thought that if Allah was so straightforward and clear in that ayah, and He gave the reason why He said, if you are fed, leave. Here, it's a different story, at least in my opinion. And I may be wrong in coming up to that conclusion. But I thought that every ayah in the Quran has a purpose, and every word has a purpose, and every letter has a purpose. So the fact that the ayah came with this wording must mean something. This is a private conversation with the Prophet ﷺ, and Allah is saying, pay for that private conversation. Let me tell you what I thought of. I remember someone who was dealing with the financial institutions, and he used to attend private meetings with heads of states, heads of banks who are retired, who are giving speeches, and he would pay $5,000 to go and listen for half an hour or an hour for one of those figures. Some of the fees for these lectures may run up to $1 million. So the speaker will come in, spend an hour, and speak for an hour, and he will be paid $1 million. And the people who would come in would pay $5,000 each to come and listen to that private conversation. So I asked him, why would you pay $5,000 to go and have a private conversation? How is it going to help you? And he said, what they say will help us plan for the business, will help us expand the business. And there comes the point. If business people are willing to pay $5,000 for an hour or half an hour for instructions that may help them propel their businesses forward, how much is it worth for you to listen to a private conversation for each one of you, something that will help you in this life and the hereafter? Would you pay $1 for a 15-minute conversation? Would you pay $10? Would you take any amount and put it as a value to this conversation? Over the past 15 minutes, as we were listening to the ayahs, I counted at least 15 or 20 advices in the ayahs that we've read. Things that will help us plan for our life. Things that will help us plan for our business. And things that will help us plan for our hereafter. And the question that I would pose here, is it worth it for us as Muslims, when we listen to the ayahs, whether it's at Fajr, or at Maghrib, or at Jum'ah, is it worth some donation to the masjid so that it continues to produce the young men and the generations for the future? Is it worth it for us to come and listen and attend to these ayahs as it's being recited, that will give us not just advice, but sometimes encouragement? Here from the ayahs that I heard, وَبَشِّرْ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. If I am a true believer, that should be an impetus for me to move forward. It's something that will reinforce my self-esteem, that I am a person that Allah is telling, Bashir al-Mu'mineen. The other day, wallahi, I was deeply touched. The ayah came unexpected. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. When you listen to something like this, how does it touch your life? How does it touch your heart? And how does it impact on your life and on your future? I would make a suggestion. The ayah that I recited, Allah says at the next ayah, he who doesn't have it, Allah will overlook it. It's forgiven. If you don't have that $1 or that $5 or that $10, whatever you think is worth it for the advice that you're listening to, Allah will forgive you. You don't need to pay anything. But for those who can, would we be able to sustain our masajids without the need of asking for a fundraising dinner 2 or 3 times a year, so that we can maintain it to a position where we are proud to be coming here? I feel happy when I put my head and make sujood on a new carpet that smells new. I feel happy when I walk into a masjid and it's painted. I feel happy when I see the change that has happened over the past 40 years in this country. 30 years ago, a young lady was getting married. and she wanted to have her wedding in a masjid. And the only masjid in the area was one in Jersey City on Park Street. She insisted that she'll have her wedding there, but she went, and when she looked at it, she felt embarrassed that this masjid does not represent Islam because it wasn't well maintained. She took it upon herself and her father to shape up the masjid at that time so that she can have her wedding in that masjid. We are lucky and we are happy and we are proud that Allah has blessed us with masajids that you are proud of. Someone in the past helped build this masjid and helped make it available for you. Can we pass on this legacy to the next generation? Think about it. This is Ramadan. I'm not asking anybody to donate anything, but if you can, next time, or next week, or next month, when you leave, put $1 for the masjid. And remember, Allah will reward you. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, forgive me if I took more than 10 minutes, but I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our fasting and accept our siyam. Barakallahu feekum.